Good afternoon. Well, who knows this afternoon? Hello, everybody. I am Tommy Heffernan from Precision Microbes here. I am travelling in the UK today, and I'm delighted to be here with Chris Gowan. And we're in Stowell Farms. You're the herd manager here. But better you introduce the farm than me. Thank you for having a chat with me as well, by the way.
That's all right. It's not a problem. Welcome to Stowell Farms. Yes, so Stowell Farms, we are a 3,500 acre farm, estate farm altogether. Running a mixture of everything from sheep, 2,500 sheep, 3,000 acres of arable mixed in with a dairy, an AD plant on site. But at the main focus at Stowell Farms is the dairy. We have 780 Holstein Friesian cows, and they are all currently milked on 12 Lely A5s with 7 Discoveries, 2 Junos. And that's pretty much it, I suppose. All modern technology that we have from calves all the way up to cows is pretty much implemented here.
Huge focus and attention to detail. I get some footage of the farm as well with you, on your permission after to show people the farm. It's really impressive. And you're impressive, Chris. I met you about maybe 8 weeks ago. I was doing a calf health roadshow from the inside out. We ended up visiting with Kat and Hannah 2 weeks later. And we'll talk about Precision Microbes in a minute, but let's talk about calf health on the farm. You love attention to detail, you love looking at metrics, you love seeing where the improvements are, and I suppose you were challenging us on where Precision fitted in. But let's get back to basics. Talk about calf health management, because I just landed as a calf on the ground. It's an all-year-round system, there's calves coming all the time. What are your key focuses with calf health?
Well, you've obviously got the 5 Qs, haven't you, within colostrum management. So we obviously observe all of that. And we always try to pay that extra attention to detail. So the biggest thing I sort of go is, 4 litres of colostrum within 4 hours. Yep. That's my golden rule on the farm. And that's irrelevant of whether it's morning, afternoon, night, middle of the night. That it happens all the time.
We may. So you might have noticed we had a rain interruption there. A very welcome rain, I believe, Chris.
Yeah, very welcome indeed. Yeah.
So you were talking to me, we moved in out of the rain. You're talking to me about calf health management, you talk about colostrum. What other focuses you have here? Because you have a big team as well. I counted 5 or 6 people in there, between people cleaning beds, calves. How do you get a team around? My question is, I suppose, how do you get a big team like this focused on doing the simple things well over time?
Try to keep it simple would be the most obvious thing.
Okay.
I think if you try and make things really hard, it's an excuse for people not to do it. So we do have all the facilities available to make it a 1-person job as well as a 5-person job, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
And paying all that extra attention to detail. So whether it's a beef calf, a Holstein bull calf, everything gets treated exactly the same. So as I was saying, so 4 litres of colostrum, that colostrum is tested on a Brix refractometer.
Yeah.
Everything over 24 we feed to the calves. We freeze it, so at night it gets fed. Anything slightly less, we'll then use a 2nd, 3rd, 4th colostrum. So it is all about attention to detail, because ultimately, even though the beef calves will leave us, we're hoping they're going to go and do a good job for someone else. But ultimately, the Holstein heifer calves that are staying here are actually the future of our herd.
And the herd's production is quite high, isn't it? It's quite high.
Yes, so in the last 3 years since me and Neil have taken over, we've moved from just over 8,000 litres average on the cows. We're now at just over 12. And with the gains that we've made, we predict that within the next 12 months, we won't be far from 14,000 litres average.
So that means, again, just on cows, we're here to talk about calves. It's always nice to know what has been the incremental changes. Have been genetics, management, or a number of those?
The beauty is genetics hasn't really played a part yet, because we're only just calving in our own cows that me and Neil have picked ourselves. So we've done all the management changes, obviously changing from a parlour to a robots is obviously a very big change. Cow comfort, cow health is obviously massive on our, and on that point it is also with the members of staff, it is attention to detail, whether it be a cow, calf, and anything in between.
You really get that from, I suppose, first time I met you to just seeing the farm and the layout. It's it's a credit to all of you and all involved. So let's talk calf health and Precision Microbes. So with that progressive mindset of yours, you were interested in our first discussion. We visited it, we chatted a bit more, and you said, look, I think it was 6-7 weeks ago now, you were going to put on the heifer calves with milk. Calf management is excellent. Like every farm, there's little bits and pieces you were looking to hope to achieve. So I suppose give me some feedback from our last visit to now.
Yeah, so obviously I spoke to you. Our biggest thing here is about preventative treatment.
Yeah.
So if we can try and be a bit more proactive, we will. And that was the biggest thing when we come to your talk. It really interested me on, obviously using less antibiotics is a massive big in this industry. and especially for us on such a large scale, obviously less antibiotic usage. So we're looking at ways of how can we have a healthier calf effectively. You know, obviously we don't like dead animals, don't like dead calves. We want a higher return rate on our investment. So by using the probiotics on the calves, we were looking at how can we reduce antibiotic usage, how can we get a healthier calf, and how can we get calves grow quicker. And interestingly, we just used it on the heifer calves to start with, to contrast against the beef calves. We've always struggled a little bit with crypto and rotavirus here, and we know that, and despite being clean and everything's 100% cleaned and steam cleaned and washed, we do struggle a little bit with a high turnover. So we are just looking for percentage gains, and for me the whole theory of it working just sort of makes sense in your mind as well. But obviously you've got to put that into practice. So the easiest way to do it is we split the calves in half, a lot of beef calves, a lot of Holstein heifer calves, which worked better, which didn't work better. And ultimately, I mean, we're stood here 6-7 weeks later and I'm using it on every calf now. So that sort of tells you how that test went.
And that's been a huge thing for us. Yeah, we're obviously investing all the time in research, etc. But the farm feedback has been really a positive. It makes my life a little bit easier that people can see this. And we often see when treatment and controls are created that the control ends up on the product as well, because they say a visual difference. So from a difference of a calf perspective, knowing that management is really excellent on the farm, what were you seeing in those young calves that made you decide, okay, it's working on the heifers, let's put them on all of them?
So it was the recovery rate more than anything for us. I mean, you're always going to get a slightly sick calf or an off-feeding calf. Obviously you get pneumonia in calves. We have single hutches, so they are prone a bit to in the winter, you know, to a bit stuffy and warm, as well as in the summer. Obviously you've got the opposite effect, haven't you? So we were just seeing the recovery rate in calves was just so much better. The usage of antibiotics has obviously dropped dramatically. We just now use a bit of pain relief occasionally, but for us it's keeping the calves on milk. And that is the key for all of us in the industry, is a rehydrated calf will grow better. But if you can keep that calf on milk for longer without having to give us supplements, i.e. drays and sachets, we can keep it on milk, therefore it's growing better. Yeah,
so you were feeding it 30 mils a day, you were doubling up and obviously you still will use electrolytes when needed, but correct, you just found those calves were not getting as sick and the recovering was better.
Yes, and actually the usage of electrolytes reduced because you could feed the same product again in the evening if you had a sick calf. So in that theory, the money we were saving on the electrolytes, we were effectively spending before on the probiotics.
So you're very happy with what you've seen, so I really appreciate your feedback on that. Justin, yourself, as the herd manager here, to manage a big herd like this, attention to detail, what drives you? Because you caught my attention straight away. I meet lots of farmers, lots of people in the industry, and you obviously love what you do. So what's the big driver for you? Is it the results you see? Is it those improvements in production, performance, having a happy team, happy cows?
I think it's a mixture of everything. I think the ultimate saying sort of down here is if you have a happy cow, you have happy people. And that's ultimately what we strive for. If we have a happy cow, we have happy people. If we have happy cows, happy people, the results tend to speak for themselves. I've always challenged myself, and I think with the team that we have built here is we've challenged the team, but also reward the team, and I think that's a very big thing. And whether it be from showing calves throughout the year to having 100-ton cows or cows that are producing 15,000 kilo daughters, and that just doesn't come down to me making up protocols or rules. That comes down from everyone being involved and rewarding those people that are involved, and it can be a simple thing like a bacon sandwich at breakfast time or a cup of coffee, but it is all about rewarding, but enjoying that reward with the whole team. And I think that is what makes a team environment. And
it's brilliant. It's great leadership lessons there, Chris. Very humble, but I think everyone can learn from a little bit from that. I think you have a great attitude. Continue the success. I know the business here is expanding, and it's been a real pleasure meeting with you, and I really appreciate your feedback as well, and I'm glad we've made a little bit of a difference in the overall system here as well.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Super.